All right. So, hello and good afternoon, everybody. My name is Veer Pratap Singh, and in this interesting session, we shall be discussing about what is or how should we prepare for history and how to become a master in history. So, guys, what I would like to tell you here is that in the SSC and the CGL exam, in the SSC CGL examinations, history it plays a very important part. Okay, but what we learn from history is something that you can apply in the all of the examinations, that means in the whole examinations. So with this session, our main agenda is to tell you that how can along with studying history, whatever you learn in history, how can you develop yourself, and in that development process, whatever you learn, how can you apply those learnings in the examinations and clear the examinations. So that is the agenda that we are setting here. So in this session, guys, we'll basically be talking about how to clear the examinations in a manner, okay, by smart studying. So the whole focus is on smart study, because when you go with very laborious study, so things they generally tend to become very much laborious in nature. So with this positive mindset that we are going to be studying in a smart manner, and we shall be clearing the examinations in the coming time period, that is in the coming 2026 you shall become an officer. So that is what our main agenda is, and in order to clear the examinations, how we need to study history. So if I talk to you about this, guys, so whenever we talk about history, generally 5 to 6 questions they are asked by the examination in the tier 1, and then consequently in the tier 2, in the tier 2 also it becomes very important, like that. So how should we understand history and apply that knowledge? So the first aspect that I would like to tell you is that we need to get our basics correct. Okay, because our foundation, if our foundation is not strong, obviously the structure it is not going to be strong and it is going to fall down. So in order to apply things properly, in order to understand things properly, in order to understand how the SSC is setting the papers and how to accurately answer the questions, so for that our foundation should be strong, and the foundation it is going to be strong because of the NCERTs. So we need to do the NCERTs in a very holistic manner. So that is the first thing, that is the building block. Okay, however, even if you are not doing the NCERTs, okay, in the classes what we'll do is we means whatever we'll be covering in the history segment, everything, okay, may more or less the whole of the NCERT will also be covered within the segment, within the syllabus, that what we will be doing. Okay, so but if you are doing it from yourself, you need to cover the NCERTs, because many of the questions, okay, questions in the aspect of terms, okay, various terms in the history, what has been there, various personalities in history who had been there, what is their contribution going to be, about the freedom struggle, about the dynasties, okay, about religion. So all these are probable questions that can be asked, and their base it is going to be from the NCERTs. So that is what we need to understand, that we need to do the NCERTs at a holistic level. And whenever we are talking about NCERTs, it can be from the 6th to the 12th NCERT, okay, if you are doing it. Now not only for the SSC, even in future, if you if you are aiming to give another examinations, class 1 examinations, so there also you can basically apply the knowledge that you learn here. Apart from that, the second aspect is conceptual clarity. That is, many of the people, just for the sake of reading NCERTs, they are going to be reading, okay, but that shouldn't be there. Okay, you should not only be reading NCERTs in that aspect, but you should be digging deeper, because the SSC CGL it is not going to ask about the shallow questions, it is going to ask a little bit of deeper questions. Okay, for example, if this is the map that is there, okay, in the NCERT, so from this map what you need to do is, in this map various bhakti saints have been written about. Okay, now in the bhakti saints you need to dig deeper about these bhakti saints whoever have been written, because the SSC can ask you about any of the saints and what they had contributed. So that is how we need to go with the conceptual clarity, that what, where and how did these things happen. Okay, so when you dig deeper, that is the time you are going to understand the mindset of the examination, and that is how you can clear the examinations. So guys, all this information that are enriched in nature and that will help you in clearing your examinations, I provide such Okay, I generally upload such content on my channels. Okay, so you can connect with me through the Telegram or through the Instagram. Okay, so on the Instagram I'm uploading enriched content that will be very much applicable for you in the examination, so you can utilize that. Okay, you need to just scan it. Now, apart from that, how do we need to, how can we become a master? What is the smart study that we can adopt in the examination? So the smart study, it is basically, the first aspect is on the basis of timeline approach. See, history, it is basically cause and effect. Okay, history is cause and effect. So what I want to tell you here is that whatever is happening today, it is the effect of certain cause that has happened in the past. And that is the effect of certain cause that had happened much more in the past. So history is all about the cause and effect relation. Now, when we are talking about this cause and effect relation, what we need to understand here is, firstly, from the ancient. Now the SSC, it is asking questions that are from the ancient time period till the modern. Okay, that is about the Harappan civilization and everything. So here what you need to do is that you need to understand history through timeline, that what had been the series of events that had happened in a chronological manner. So when you understand history through a chronological manner, your clarity over history, it becomes very much easy. Okay, it is conceptual clarity. So for that, what I have done is I have created a timeline based understanding of history, that the series of events arranged in a chronological manner. So those series of events, you can actually learn it in this particular fashion. Okay, so here when we talk, so here this is the ancient history timeline. Similarly, what we do is, there is also a early medieval, that is medieval history timeline. Then there can be a modern history timeline. So there are timelines in this particular dimensions that we are basically covering, that we can basically cover here. Okay, that is the main agenda. So you can find these particular documents in my Telegram channel. I have already uploaded it. So in order to fetch marks, because see, why am I telling this is also important? The SSC, it can ask you that, during the 8th century AD, which were the dynasties that are going to rule the Deccan area? Okay, or who were the contemporaries of the Rashtrakutas? It can basically ask that, who were the contemporaries of the Rashtrakutas? So like that, here it is already written that in during that point of time, who were the contemporaries. Okay, so that is one other thing that you can get from this particular timeline. Apart from that, guys, another important thing that I want to mention here is the terms. Okay, it is the terms. Now, when we are talking about the terms, see, many of the questions in the history, okay, that is in the examinations, the SSC, it is going to ask you that what does this term of ancient India mean? Okay, for example, it might ask you, what does Tadaga of the Gupta Empire mean? Or which were the administrators, for example, in the administration, who were the particular administrators that are going to be, okay, given the particular name. So here, for example, in the Mughal Empire, there are going to be certain administrators who have a certain name. So when they are having a certain name, so what can be done is that here the SSC, it can ask you, what does those terms generally mean? So here, this particular document, it is going to enrich your that content in the one-liners, wherein I have explained the whole of the history in terminologies. Okay, so the whatever factual content is important, the any examination you take, okay, the SSC, the railways, okay, any of the grade examinations that are being conducted by the SSC, so these topics, they become very much relevant, wherein they are going to ask you terms in association with polity, terms in association with economy, terms in association with society, okay, and the other terminologies. So that is, you need to be smart enough, not only by reading history through timeline, but digging deeper and understanding from what dimensions can the SSC ask questions. So that is another way you can become a master in history. Okay, so this is the terms. Apart from that, what you need to do is, whatever you have studied up till now, that particular studies, for your fast revision. See, your studies, it needs to be revised, okay, frequently. And because there needs to be a revision frequently, what happens is that here you need to create certain flowcharts of the events, of certain details that have happened. Because might be the SSC can ask you that what had happened after the non-cooperation movement, which were the following events that had happened. So when the examination asks you that, you, rather than recalling the whole of the history, if you had created a mind map, okay, or a timeline, then automatically you can answer that particular question accurately in a very fast manner. So here, in order to clear the examination, you also need to make mind maps of the whole of the events that had happened in the history. So here you can see that there is a mind map of the Indian national movement. Okay, so this is one another thing that you can see. So like this, you need to create the mind maps. That is another way in order to clear the examinations. So these were the basics, these were the smart manners that you can generally adopt in clearing the examinations. But and also, these were the whatever methods that we have discussed right now, this can be adopted by the beginners as well as the people who have been consistently giving the examinations. Now might be the people who have consistently giving the examinations, those people couldn't clear, okay, those aspirants couldn't clear. Why? Because they didn't do such things, or they didn't, whatever they had learned, they didn't apply those things. So here, understanding things in a smart manner and application of those smart things, okay, that is going to help you clear the examination. Now what apart from this needs to be done in order to get your preparation foolproof, okay, in order to get your preparation tried and tested. So in that category, what you need to do is, firstly, the people who have been repetators, they need to understand what their previous mistakes were. That means in history, where they lacked, did they lack in the chronology of the series of events? Did they lack in the conceptual clarity? Did they lack in the depth of the particular dynasty information? So you need to understand where you lacked, because of which you couldn't answer the questions accurately in a fast manner. So when you do that, only then you can learn from your mistakes. Secondly is, you need to focus on those lacking areas, and in order to strengthen your preparation, you also need to focus on the PYQs and then give mocks. Now we shall be also giving you mocks, okay? So that is one another thing that you need to do. All right, so up till now guys, these are some things that I would want you guys to adopt in your particular preparations, in order to make your preparations much more foolproof in nature, in order to clear the examinations. Okay, so that is how you can create the timeline, you can create the terms, whatever important terms are there in the NCRTs or the other areas, you can mention them down. And apart from that, you can also create the particular mind maps to, for a deeper understanding and for fast revision, you can do that. Okay, so with this, if you apply these methods, trust me, within a year you will become that much capable that you will be clearing the examinations. Okay, so these are the things that you need to adopt. Okay, so with this, I shall keep it this much only, guys. Okay, so I thank every one of you for watching me. And do comment if you have any doubts, okay, or where can you find these particular notes and all. Okay, if you want any other extra information, you can comment it and I shall go through it and I shall reply on them. Okay, so with this, I'll end this particular session. Once again, thank you everybody for watching, and take good care, study well. Okay.